going on, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. It's your boy Cam, and it's good to be here. Man, I can finally see myself. Guys, we upgraded. We got the Canon 800D or T7i, whatever you want to call it, back in the lab, and we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. The first thing I want to cover, Trump is talking about unveiling a three-phase plan, which he pretty much did. So I'm going to lay out the basics of it in layman's terms, right? Phase 1, all vulnerable people should shelter in place. 2, avoid social distancing in groups more than 10. We're doing all those things. Non-essential travel should be minimized. We're doing that now. Working from home when possible. It's more stricter than that now, but I think that, like people like me, program directors and stuff like that, will go back to work. Schools and youth activities remain closed. Large public venues such as movie theaters, restaurants, sporting venues, and places of worship can operate under strict social distancing rules. I'm surprised by that one. I would have left that for phase 2 maybe, but hey, whatever. Elective surgeries can resume. Sure, yeah. Yeah, if you could be in a movie theater, I would say you could get surgery. Gyms can reopen if they stick to strict social distancing. Hey, let's do that all the time, yeah? In the gym, just stay away from each other, right? Phase 2, non-essential travel can resume. Great, do whatever you want. Like an American. Let's put a pin in that, because there's protests going on, especially here in Nashville, called freedom rallies, where people are saying, hey, you can't tell me I'm not allowed to leave my house. This is America, and I'm an American. Anywho, schools and youth activities can reopen. So what has to happen between phase 1 and phase 2? There has to be a 14-day decline, right? That's what they have to see. So for phase 2, all vulnerable people should continue to shelter in place. Gathering of more than 50 people should be avoided. So now it's more than 50. People are encouraged to work from home. We'll see. I think most people are going to go back to work. Large venues can operate under moderate social distancing rules. So do what you want, but be advised what we just went through. Essentially, bars may reopen with diminished standing room occupancy. Got it. Phase 3. So now what has to happen between phase 1 and phase 2? You have to go 1 month without with a decline, no spikes. So phase 3, vulnerable people can go back to pub, do what you want, right? You can pretty much do whatever you want. Right now, you can do what you want. That's why the freedom rallies are happening. People are getting very, very upset. It's nice that I can see myself, except it looks like I have a huge bald spot right in the top of my head. If you're only listening to me on the audio, check us out on video. The YouTube channel's taking a massive upgrade. We got a cooking show now. Got Rolling Backwoods. Hey, yeah, a lot of good stuff over there. Go subscribe. We're doing a giveaway at 500 if you guys like stuff. Let me see if I got one here. Happy Valley Pipe Company. There, boom. Pretty cool. Like that. Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then you can see my bald, what looks like I have a bald spot, even though my hair is glowing on screen. Anyway, Delia. We did a review last time of Tom Segura's Ball Hog and Bert Kreischer, even though I called it Hey Birdie Boy. That's not the name of his special. His name was Hey Big Boy, which was Bert Kreischer's special. Now I'm going to review Delia's No Pain special. I like Delia. I like Delia as a stand-up, and I like him as a podcast guest. I especially like him when he appears on The Fighter and the Kid. That's my favorite, when him and Brian Callen roast each other. I think that's a good part of his career now. A good staple in his career is him and Brian Callen's relationship. Him and Brendan don't interact much. Anywho, not about The Fighter and the Kid. Delia's No Pain. It starts off, it was kind of interesting, man. He kind of acted like he wasn't a known name, like he wasn't playing to a mass group of people there specifically to see him. I thought that was interesting. He said, man, I've been doing stand-up a lot, and he was like, it's made me a better comedian because I've done thousands of shows. He's like, but it's made me a worse person. It's like, oh, okay. So he's showing you two sides of himself, which was interesting, because to a lot of his podcast listeners who would call him Daddy, who's a part of his cult that he started, his podcast cult or whatever. And then other than that, again, he's a very confident guy. So to show himself with those flaws is interesting. It was an interesting way to start. So again, it kind of brings your guard down away from who he is when he's always on the offensive on these podcasts. That was kind of nice. Now again, The jokes were kind of slow to just ease in, but they were good. They were hit. They hit. They made you laugh. And then he got to the what most people are going to probably talk about, the growling at a baby joke. And I don't give jokes away when I do these reviews, but I think he hung on to that joke a little long. But hey, I wasn't in the room. If he was reading the room and they were digging it like that, hey, cool. Do your thing. And then after that, it was just kadoosh, 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 just bombs. He just dropped bombs on that place and had them in stitches the entire time. So guys, if you have not, which I would be surprised, it was number 4 on trending. I doubt you're gonna watch my show and then go watch it if you haven't already. But if you haven't, if by chance you haven't, go watch Delia, No Pain. And even though I'm not a subscriber to his podcast, I like it, but it's not something I can listen to on a routine. I like Chris when he shows up as a guest. His podcast is a lot, but go subscribe to his podcast. Congratulations. He deserves it. If you like his comedy, his podcasting style is a little different, but it's all good. I wanted to share something interesting that I found out. I actually just found it out while I was preparing for this episode. I was watching a documentary, and there is actually a strain of cannabis out there. If you guys care about cannabis, I'm sure you do if you're hanging out with me. There's a strain of cannabis out there that is so sought after. First off, it takes days and days. You have to travel to Africa. It's insane. And it has a component in it, a cannabinoid called THCV. Now, for those of us that know what THC is, that's what most people think gets you high, gives you the munchies, right? THCV does the opposite effect and helps you control your appetite, and it helps diabetics. Amazing. It's actually one of the things that I've heard people take from big pharmaceutical companies. They take this very rare strain and they pull from it and they make a synthetic version for diabetics and for people with some cognitive issues. And to me, I thought that was pretty interesting. We've been doing a lot. We've been doing a lot here in the Williamson household. We've not only launched our cooking show, Ready to Rise, which I don't even know how many episodes we have now. We've cooked quite a few things. People seem to really be enjoying those. So we're going to keep doing that a lot. I'm upgrading my kitchen. I'm buying all kinds of new utensils, even though my freaking refrigerator went out. I hope everyone got their stimulus checks. If you guys have been listening to this show for a long time, you know that every time I hit record, my nose starts itching. It's an insane phenomenon that happens. I've missed this show. I really have. The Road to Redemption podcast is where it all started. My creativity and even vlogs stemmed from this, and I was taking a look as I was uploading a video the other day, and I've definitely let this thing slide a little bit, and I'm not happy about that on the consistency of it. So here we are, Sunday night. We're back on track, and we're back to doing our thing. It's easier now that I've kind of gotten in a 3 to 4 week routine now of being in the house. I think it's been a month. So now we're all falling into this new routine, and I'm finding spaces where I'm able to get stuff done, and my wife has been amazing. Even right now, it's bedtime for my daughter, and my wife's keeping her up just a little bit longer so Dad can knock out this podcast. And I hope I can make it worth it for you guys, and I can make it worth it for them to make those sacrifices. So I'm going to bring that. I have been doing so much searching lately, and I've been doing a lot of soul searching inwards to try to figure out. That's what soul searching is, Cam. See what happens when you try to go, you're about to jump onto something juicy, but you try to build up to it so much that you get distracted by saying dumb shit. Anywho, I've been trying to pay more attention to what's going on inside of here. Why? Not just, I get it, right? We've talked for years about Cam doesn't feel good sometimes mentally, and depression, and we get it. I'm trying to figure out what's causing those things. I'm trying to really nail down the triggers in my life. And a lot of them, guys, I'm having a hard time coming to terms with the fact that sometimes I'm just a massive fucking baby. I hope that I'm not the only one that can sit down and have this hard realization look at themselves, but sometimes I I have strived and I've worked very hard for a lot of things. I like that I get to upgrade my camera. The podcast is doing good stuff. The YouTube channel is good stuff. I get it. I've worked very hard for those things. But at the same time, I look at situations that go on around the world, and I look at like these different countries, and guys, we are so blessed in this country. And it makes me kind of almost laugh a little. Now, I'm not laughing at people's situations. I don't know everyone's situations. I'm sure that there's people who are unemployed now and their finances are taking a massive hit and stuff like that. And I could see in those times where it could be easy to look and go, oh, well, it must be easy for you, Cam, to sit there and call this laughable with your new camera and your podcast and all this. Must be nice. Again, let's not forget, I've worked for all this. Me and my family have sacrificed, and we've all been chasing a common dream, and that has caused me to get to a place where I can sit outside early in the morning in nature and reflect on my feelings and my thoughts and my actions. And that is why I always try to bring this show to you. That is the kind of message I want to constantly remind you of. Yes, I haven't been the most consistent, but I'm here now, and I hope that you guys can take, if nothing else, that. Take that. You owe it to yourself to work hard enough to whatever it is, guys, and I've beaten this horse to death. Whatever it is that you lay down at night and you close your eyes and you go, if I could just be doing that, go do that tomorrow. Instead of going to a freedom rally, begging to be able to go back to a work, like a 9 to 5 or whatever, even if you like your job, why not just spend the time that you have doing something for you? We've planted a garden. We've started like a cooking show. We got a lot of stuff going on here too. And you know why that is? Not only because we enjoy it, but at the same time as every time you go to the grocery store, you should plan of, well, hey, I may not be able to go for 2 to 3 weeks, right? What if we both got a call that said, hey, you got laid off? Now, luckily, neither of us did. That's very fortunate for us. That's, I think, again, an effort or a result of our efforts of late. But because of that, we were able to both sit down and look and go, okay, well, how can we properly use this time? I'm still working from home. So through the week, I'm still working and engaging with people that I work with and different vendors and stuff. But my wife, she's been here, and she's been doing stuff to get back in school and better herself. So my question to you is, why not spend time bettering yourself in case of a situation someone calls and goes, oh, hey, you don't have a job anymore? Okay, yeah, I would still at this moment have to turn around and start looking for a job. But what if I had set myself up with a foundation of videos and creativity, and my wife getting herself back in school, and not to mention, guys, just bonding with our families? If you spend your time like that, I promise you this quarantine's not that bad. And we were talking about it earlier. I've been watching podcast after podcast after podcast where people say things like, oh man, the quarantine, I'm kind of a hermit myself, but all this time with my kids, it's like, man, I've loved this time with my kids. The only thing that bums me out is I don't have both my kids. That I don't have both my kids. It makes me laugh, man. It makes me laugh when I listen to people. I'm like, what monsters have you created for other people that you usually just kick them off to a school or a daycare, and now you're like, oh, that little monster is not my problem, to where now you got to spend a month with them and you're about to freaking murder everyone in the house. I don't understand it. I truthfully don't understand it. Last topic I wanted to talk about, we talked about the cooking show. I lost my tent. For those of you guys that don't know and don't follow me on Instagram, you should, at Cam Williamson Official. Go check that out. I lost my tent, man. I was sitting outside smoking, enjoying a nice... I bought this tent, right? So let me tell you the story about the tent. I bought this tent because here recently it was very cold here where I live. And I got tired of going outside to smoke because I don't smoke in my house anymore. For those of you that used to watch the shows, I used to smoke in here. I don't do that anymore. I smoke outside. It was very, very cold. I got tired of freezing my ass off sitting outside. I convinced my wife to let me buy this freaking tent. It was nice. I thought it was nice. $150 from Walmart. I thought I got a quarantine deal. It was a canopy tent. Very nice. I created a few videos in it. You guys can go see it. RIP to my tent. I was sitting outside smoking, and all of a sudden a big gust of wind pops up. My tent goes up, flips one more time, and then crashes all into shit into my gate. I've been playing the video as I said that. Rest in peace to my tent. It's a real pain in the ass. I enjoyed it, man. It sucks to not be able to. I have a carport that I can sit under, yeah, but it doesn't break much wind. That's why I wanted the tent. See, again, massive bitch sometimes. Fear of stigmas around the cannabis community. I had a lot of those. I had somebody ask, Cam, do you worry about the stigmas around what you do in the videos you create? Yes, I worry about them constantly. It gets on my fucking nerves that I have to worry about it so much. Cannabis is a big part of my life, and it's a big part of my life because it's medicine for me. I don't take Advil, I don't take Tylenol, I don't take antidepressants. Cannabis is my medicine. It's the only one I have, and it works for me. I don't need alcohol, I don't need any other thing. I'm good with cannabis. It controls my mood, it doesn't make me a perfect human being, just like no medicine does, but that's why I use cannabis. It's not fun for me, it's not a game, it's not a party trick, it's not anything like that. That's it. And yes, I worry about the stigma a lot because I fear the repercussions, not for me, but for my family. I fear the repercussions of just the way people look and talk and what they think I do and what they perceive it to be and what they think. It's just, it's something that I've really does bother me a lot, and it's something that I've learned to try to just come to peace with, that I am a good person, I'm a good father, I'm a good husband, and that's the medicine that works for me. And I believe that as long as you do the right thing and you're always doing things with good intentions and you're doing the right thing, nothing ill should happen, but that doesn't guarantee it. I've been seeing a lot of synchronized numbers, like right now, 727. You guys can't see it, you can only see my show notes. 727, been seeing a lot of synchronized numbers. It's pretty cool. I feel like my calling is closer than ever and feeling a push. That's just something that has been true, man. I feel like everything I've done ever since the day I started, since I told you guys I was going to take a fight, I feel like everything I've done since that day, while there's been a lot of these, I feel like it feels like life has been pulling me in these directions with cooking shows. I never thought I would host a cooking show. This quarantine, just the way certain things have fallen into place. Again, the only thing that continues to baffle me about my life is my relationship with my oldest daughter, Taya. I don't know what's going to happen or what it's going to take to get that better. Right now, guys, I've said this 1,000 times, me and my daughter Taya, we get to talk Monday, Wednesday, Thursday via FaceTime on the phone. That's when her mom remembers, or they're not busy, or something doesn't happen with me. It's not perfect is what I'm saying. I made it sound like it's her mother. It's not. Shit happens. But it's not a perfect thing. And then I'm supposed to see her 2 days a month, and then because of this coronavirus, we cross 3 state lines to see each other. I haven't seen her for like 2.5 months, going on 3 months. Other than that, the life that I'm trying to build here, again, including for her, I feel like it's all starting to fall together, and I feel like just the way I wake up in the morning, right? I wake up, and I've been reading a lot about waking up between 3 to 5, and it's kind of an enlightened hour and stuff like that, or hours, and it's a time when the universe kind of wakes you up naturally, because as human beings, we used to naturally sleep that way. Before the Industrial Revolution, we would go to sleep from like 8 to 11 or 8 to 12, 8 to 1, and then we would get up and, hang out, maybe grab a tea or a coffee or something, and then go back to sleep for a little bit. So that is actually our natural sleeping rhythm. And there's something too when you start to get into your own self and start working for yourself, and again starting to see synchronized times, and then just the feeling of fulfillment that I'm getting from these videos and from the time with my family, as well as being financially stable with it all. How can you not feel like life is working? Now, I take a weird quote from Frozen 2, but one of the colonels, he said, his dad always told him, pretty much stay on your guard. Just when you think you have life figured out, be prepared to forget everything and change in a matter of a second, because it can and it will. And I try to stay very conscious of that, and I try to stay on my toes. But lately, guys, I try to stay real Gumby, real flexible. I try not to let shit bother me too much. I try not to get real riled up about stuff. And I really I want to focus on how can I not improve my life. My life will be improved. That will happen. How can I improve other people's lives? Whether it be the content I create, the message I put out, the time I'm spending with my family, the work that I do for my 9 to 5, whatever it is. Whatever it is. I want it to be successful. I want it to be full of meaning, and I want it to be packed full of genuine content that people feel like is made for them, because it is, guys. I don't sit in this box, and I don't do all this because I want to be some cool guy. I just want to be an example of something that people can look up to and go, oh my God. Now there's tons of them. There's plenty of them. I guess I'm just asking for my chance in your guys' schedule, that hopefully when you guys watch these videos, you take something from them. And it's not just some guy rambling into a camera. So if you do enjoy them, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends about us, guys. That's the best thing you can really do. Yes, thumbs up and subscribing is great. We are doing a giveaway at 500 subscribers on YouTube, but even on all the audio platforms, subscribe, like. Guys, leave us comments. Let us know. What do you want to talk about? Nothing's off the table as long as it's appropriate. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about anything insane. Leave us in the comments what you guys want to talk about. And yeah, let's get back to making this thing, get the ball rolling again, get everyone engaging, and make this a real community again. I'm happy to be back. I hope you guys are happy to be back. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast, and I will see you on the next episode. Love.